What up? You are now watching Cancel Court Case Review. I am your host, Doughboy. What up with you? Now, we are joined by my homeboys, CP, Clint Coley, and Craig Smith. And we're here to discuss the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's good, bro?
Bye,
Everybody
man.
good? Okay. Well,
I'm
we're gonna
good.
get it. We're gonna get into it and we're gonna talk about it because it's a lot to talk about. Now both of these MCs have dropped four records. Kendrick dropped Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. Drake dropped Push Ups, Tailor Made, Family Matters, and The Heart Part 6.
What was
Eight
Taylor
quality
made?
records.
What was Taylor made?
Tailor Made was the joint with the AI with the Tupac and Snoop voice.
Oh, right.
Okay. So it's a lot of great music from two amazing artists. This is an unprecedented battle that we've never seen before. So let's get into it. First off, we're just gonna ask basically who's winning and why. Clint, I'm gonna start with you. What's your take?
When I said I don't think it's a who winning, I think it's who won,
Okay.
and because at this point I don't think nobody else needs to drop any more music. But I got Kendrick Lamar winning. He won, in my opinion, 3 games to 1, and here's why. Um, I think Drake had the better actual diss tracks in in a lot of these situations. The problem, in my opinion, is that there's two things that Kendrick did. One, he has galvanized an audience of people. Now all of a sudden they hate Drake. I didn't know that there was so much hate for Drake, but now we see it. The second thing is Kendrick Lamar out Draked Drake. How did he do that? He did it by actually winning the social media awards. I mean, the social media situation, right? Like that plays a lot or plays a big part in these battles. And the main thing he did, the nail in the coffin, was when he stepped on that track. Family
Family
Matters. To
Matters.
me,
Yeah.
that was it. When he stepped on it, and then it was stepping on the track. That's the first thing. And then the nail in the coffin was the bop. Nail in the coffin was They Ain't Like Us, because at the end of the day, he dropped the bop. And now that will be the most memorable song out of all 8 of these records, in my opinion. So I got Kendrick Lamar winning. But I just want to throw out there too, I think Kendrick Lamar, I lost a little bit of respect for him, in my opinion, just because, I don't like people who go low. You know what I'm saying? Like I was listening to other diss tracks, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like even though the takeover was personal, but it wasn't low. Jay-Z, 4 albums, 10 years, nigga, I could divide like low key. It's not facts, but it's a great play on words and it's a great way. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I just think that
super ugly.
And then what's crazy, but hear me out though. Super Ugly was crazy personal, but nobody gave a fuck about it because at that point we knew Jay-Z was reacting out of the fact that he knew he lost. So in my opinion, though, it started off though clean, and when both rappers exchanged their big punches, talk about Ether and Takeover, it wasn't that bad. This is you calling somebody a pedophile. Like in my opinion, like to me, that's a lot. But that's all.
Got you. So you got Kendrick going 3-1. Craig, what's your take on it, man? Who you got winning and why?
First of all, Future and Metro Boomin, don't ever rap again. And I'm fans of both of them, but it sounds like two cheerleaders. Like two cheerleaders wrote their verses. But other than that, on the shit that they normally do, top tier, love y'all niggas, but y'all not battle rappers. It's really hard for me to choose because they're both fire. And if we just talking about rapping, he didn't kill him rapping. He killed him with the angles. Like,
yes,
angles were crazy. But Drake said some crazy shit, though. That nigga said, when you put your hands on your girl, is it still abuse because she's bigger than you? Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What else did Drake say? Your father got robbed by Top. Drake said some fire.
The Michael Jackson scheme on that was crazy.
Crazy, right? I mean, he did, they both had some dope stuff, man. If we just talk about angles, I'll give it to Kendrick because Kendrick is the underdog. There's a white boy who put out a diss that's been going everywhere today that is kind of dope. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was cool. I forget his name. Have you seen it?
Who is it?
He dissed everybody in the industry, but he focused on them. I don't even know his name, but if you just look it up, you know what I'm talking about. I can't remember it now. But
okay.
So I would have to go with Kendrick, but it's not an oh my bad. It's
He
not
did
in a
not
way.
rap Drake.
It's not in a way where he out rapped him.
I agree.
I don't think either one loses anything.
I agree.
I don't feel like it's just hey, I don't think either one loses anything. I'm gonna go with Kendrick, but
Okay, so you got
everybody calling me that I'm on the lot. Drake is I got Kendrick on this.
Kendrick. Okay, CP, what you got, man? Who you got winning and why, sir?
Man, I agree with a little bit of what Clint said, and I agree with a little bit of what Craig said. I think that, yeah, I got Kendrick winning because of it's a fight, right? And so in a fight, sometimes there are things that you can do that are going to make sure that you win. Drake knows that. Kendrick knows that. You can't call a nigga a pedophile and then think that that's like one of those that's like a draw four when you thought you was about to Uno out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a oh shit.
Jesus, that was a great analogy. Yes, I heard you.
You feel me? Like it's like, oh, wait. Now I gotta pick up more cars. I gotta explain more shit. Here's my issue. We've been waiting for this Kendrick and Drake battle for a long time. As a matter of fact, the shots that they've thrown have been almost genius because of how interweaved and intricate they were just on shots alone in this battle for years, right? I lost a little bit of respect for Kendrick throughout this battle for a couple of reasons. Number one, Kendrick seems to be a man of values, right? Right? He seems to be a man of ethics, right? And he boasts that, right? You don't get a pass when you tell on yourself for fucking white bitches, even though you are Dr. Umar Lamar, right? Like you can't do that, right?
Dr. Umar Lamar is crazy.
Nigga, that's
Right.
Dr. Umar Lamar is crazy.
Nigga, understand this, right? Number two, I don't respect a nigga that I never liked those videos on World Star where them niggas come in and stomp a nigga's head when he already down. Right?
I hated those.
That never sat well with me. I don't like to see niggas get jumped, and it actually gives me more respect for the nigga getting jumped than it does for the niggas that's jumping them. Right? Kendrick is such a formidable opponent. Drake is such a formidable opponent for Kendrick that I don't want to see Kendrick battle Drake when Drake is battling 8 other niggas.
Come on.
Also, too, I automatically lose respect when they start talking about who fucked who bitches. I don't give a
That's
fuck.
corny. That's
Right.
corny.
But
That's
look,
corny.
hold on.
corny.
That brings me to my next point. Right? Another thing, I don't like when Kendrick, especially because of the ethics that he sells. I don't like, and I'm the Kendrick nigga, right? I'm the one who's defending Kendrick in this case. I don't like when Kendrick, because he stands on so many ethics, you got to stand on it. So he came at Drake for saying, "You think my life all about rap? I'm a dad. You don't know nothing about that, right?
Right.
Put your kid to sleep. You don't know nothing about that." Well, it's not true, right? Because number one, the daughter thing was fake. Number two, Drake does spend a lot of time with his son. As a matter of fact, Drake's son is more visible than Kendrick's son. And I didn't know Kendrick had a son until the battle. Number one. Maybe if I'd have paid attention on morale steppers and saw the little boy he was holding, that's cool. But that's like, I didn't know that. Now, you're going to penalize a nigga who you say is a deadbeat dad, right? But you kick off your beef and you started on Future's track, who was a known illegitimate father with kids all around him.
I didn't even think about that.
Listen,
I didn't even think about that.
With a nigga publicly raising your son.
Publicly.
You hop on a track with that nigga just to hate on another nigga who you don't like how he walk, talk, or fuck college freshmen.
That's why I didn't like Euphoria, but that's neither here nor there.
This is why rappers are so comedians when they beef, because they don't do it right. Them niggas don't dig enough. It's all about bitches and who got more money. That shit is not creative, and that's why Kendrick won. But all Drake had to do was call us.
Hold on, Doughboy. My fourth point. Ready for this? How ironic is it that Kendrick does a track where he talks to Sandy, Dennis, and Adonis, right? About the kind of man that Drake is, right? But here you are telling a black man because a drop of blood, of black blood makes you black. Let alone having a black father from Memphis. You're black enough to say nigga, but guess what though? Hold on. I'm about to bring it home. Ready for this? Kendrick, your son is not fully black, correct? If I was Drake, I would do a track talking to your son about, hey, I understand how your father might not accept you because you might not be black enough for him. Wow, and when you grow up, you might have to deal with the fact that light-skinned niggas like us have it hard when it comes to trying to get respect in America from other black men. That's crazy.
But that's
right. So hold on. So let me tell you guys who I have winning and why. Now I understand that 90% of the world has Kendrick winning, and I get why they have him winning. I'm probably going to be in the smaller percentage that will have Drake winning this battle. But let me tell you why. It's just for technicalities. Like you guys are saying, nobody's really out rapping each other like that. Nobody's kicking each other's ass with the raps. So I just got to go off of little technical things. For one, when Kendrick tried to drop that bomb, like you got a kid, he was trying to take a page out of Pusha T's book. He thought that was going to be a death blow. It wasn't confirmed. It wasn't, nobody has been able to confirm this child. So to me, that was a swing and a miss. I got to deduct some points for that. Then if you weren't hitting him with the character angles, like I could deal with if you call him, you're not a part of the culture, you don't write your raps, whatever. But if you're going to attack the character of a man and say you're this, you're that, and cast out all these explosions of who you think he might be as a person. But when he puts some shit on you and says, well, what about this? The DV shit, the is that your kid? You feel like you don't have to address any of it, and you could just keep saying things about what you think about him. So I'm deducting points for that. So they both did their thing. I think it was both good songs. But if I got to deduct some points from Kendrick to slightly edge it to Drake, cool. But in the same token, I'll say that Drake won the battle, cool in my eyes and some people's eyes, but he ultimately lost the war. Because this is going to heavily impact his career. It will never be the same. He will be looked at differently forever. A P3DO jacket on anybody is terrible, and it's a stench you'll never be able to get off. Like Kendrick can write a song right now and be like, he didn't do it. It was all about the battle. Nobody would care. You already said it. It's already a bop. And now people will always have associations with him for that. And I just feel for that, Drake lost a lot more than just some fucking rap battle, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
Can I say
this? Hold on real quick, if you don't mind, CP. You know who really won this battle? And I'm going to say this. J. Cole won this battle.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why, right? I owe J. Cole an apology. I said, man, I said, yo, bowing out of a rap beef, I called him the P word, all right? Oh. I'm sorry. I was wrong. J. Cole, if you see this, if you hear this, my bad, bro. My bad. And here's why. Because I feel like he knew this was going to get personal. And he knew it wasn't going to be about rapping. And he knew it wasn't going to be. And it's like, yo, you know what? Sometimes it's almost like, you ever have somebody step on your foot at the club and then you turn around? You want to be mad because they stepped on your J's or whatever, right? But you know what? I'm 36 years old. When I'm out, bro, you know what? He say my bad. All right, it's cool, bro. We don't need to get physical. We don't need to go trying to fuck each other up over some goddamn shoes or stepping on my foot. And at the end of the day, again, I was wrong. J. Cole seen that this was going to happen, and he respectfully bowed out and he chose peace. And you know what? I got to take a page out of J. Cole book. I need to start choosing peace. That's just the bottom line. And that could be in any situation.
Hey, Clint, I'm so glad that you brought up J. Cole, bro. Because two things about J. Cole stand out to me in this whole situation. Actually, three. People have called J. Cole the middle child, right? And it fits.
It gotta do. It do. Yeah.
Because here you have a guy who came out after Drake, right? Yeah. But before Kendrick, puts him a little bit older in that regard, right? Then you have somebody who, Drake has been number one because he's the oldest. Kendrick has been number one because he's the baby. Cole is brand new to the whole big three. Cole brought up this big three shit. Just like we could all say it, but the second that you say it and you acknowledge it, it becomes real on a level of you're roping Kendrick and Drake into something that they don't want to be. They don't want to be in no big three. Both of them have experience being number one, And they didn't want to come to this group hug that J. Cole humbly tried to bring them through. But then let's talk about J. Cole for a second.
Great point.
The reason why J. Cole felt the need to bring them together is because he's friends with both of them, right?
Yes,
and him being friends with Drake makes sense. They have a lot in common, right?
They do.
But him being friends with J. Cole is interesting because guess what? J. Cole is mixed too. As a matter of fact, J. Cole is the same amount of mixed that Drake is. Matter of fact, one could even say that J. Cole is whiter because his mother is white as opposed to Jewish. Once again, Kendrick gets caught up in pointing the finger at Drake instead of pointing the finger at the culture of it all, which makes Kendrick by law and by black rules a hater. Now, if you look at what is
he's dropping
deeper,
facts, he's dropping science.
If you look at what's getting deeper as it pertains to Kendrick and Drake, there's an underlying theme. And what it is it's American black boy trauma and the world of what black men are and could be. All of us want our sons to be suburban niggas. As a culture, we got to stop clowning suburban niggas because all of my niggas, Craig, Clint, Doughboy, are working hard as fuck so that our sons can grow up way better than we did.
Real quick, I'm dropping this news on live. No, I don't know if we're live or whatever, man. But look, I just found out I have a child on the way. My first child is on the way. And thank you, man. And at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, I don't want my son growing up in not Inglewood, I'm sorry, but like in a bad neighborhood or a bad environment. You're absolutely right, CP. Like, we do have to stop clowning suburban niggas because that is the goal. That is the goal. We work hard.
Drake is the realization of another black man's dream. And Kendrick don't see it like that because guess what? In this country, your trauma is your fucking entrance into what it means to be black. So that's why anytime Kendrick get attacked, it's like, nigga, but I'm from Compton. Nigga, but I know niggas who kill. And it's like, bro, bottom line is like, Drake is like, I don't. As a matter of fact, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying?
My uncle is arguably the best bass player of all time. People forgot about that. Like Larry Graham from Grand Central Station and Sly and the Family Stone. We're talking about two groups that changed music. That is Drake's uncle. That's his lineage. Like, it don't get no blacker than that. Like, that bass line you hear, boom, doom, doom, doom. Like, that's Larry Graham. Larry Graham reinvented. Anyway, I'm sorry. We can go on and on and on.
Hey, hold on, Doughboy. Telling niggas that they too light skinned to say nigga is a white Jim Crow design.
Yeah, fact.
Colorism.
And let me keep us on task here, y'all, because I definitely got some talking points that I want to get through. Let me just ask y'all point blank, period. Craig, I'm gonna start with you. Was this battle worth the wait, and has it lived up to the hype, or were you let down?
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't waiting on this battle. Fuck both these niggas. But got here, it was fun. You feel what I'm saying? Because if we keeping it honest, man, it's like it's a whole new crop of rappers. If this was 2012, this would have been even bigger. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But because of the legacies, because of how dope they both are, because I have love for both of them as artists, I think they're both dope. I would say it has lived up to the expectation once I became aware that they were beefing. You know what I'm saying? I think it was really, really dope that they did it for, it was cool for the culture. Hopefully a lot of these new rappers can take this as an example that you can be mainstream and also be a skilled rapper. Drake is a very skilled rapper. He's highly skilled. To me, he's the first rapper that was mainstream but had the skill level of an underground dirty backpack rapper. You know what I'm saying? I mean
they won't admit that though. They won't admit that because they hate Drake. They won't admit that, but you're right.
He's the culmination of everything. In our era, they would think it was impossible for a rapper to be a pop star and be a murderous MC, but he's definitely both. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, and then shout out for Drake for maintaining the eclectic and what's the word? I can't even abstract approach. Me being a rapper, before I ever told a joke, I had 5 albums. I got 9 albums now. Go buy the Chill Withers albums. They're everywhere, streaming like crazy. But me being an MC, understanding how difficult it is, and then evolving into a comedian, which is the most difficult form of writing that you could possibly do, I appreciate the fact that he takes the risk that he does on such a high level, because he could have easily dumbed shit down and made it super, like the first song was cool. The first song would be what you would expect from a mainstream rapper that's kind of dope that he dropped to put out. But then it just got more and more complex. So I respect his attention to detail. And hopefully this wakes up the general masses and we stop putting out this same ass fucking booty shaking rap music and start getting back to what makes us different. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to both of them for bringing skills back to the mainstream level.
CP, okay, I respect it. CP, was this battle worth it, and has it lived up to the hype?
I think it absolutely lived up to the hype. Like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I argued the Kendrick side, I'm a huge Drake fan. We talked about this.
Right.
That's the beauty of this show, is that we get a chance to debate. I know the holes that are in the argument that I argue for Drake. So it's very easy to shoot those same holes down when I'm against Drake. But don't get it twisted. Like Craig said, Drake is super duper skilled. Drake is going to go down in history as probably if not the Jordan, the LeBron of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is arguably he's top two, and then you argue the position based on accolades and all of that. However, both of these artists have been circling each other for a long time. And with the public knowing that they've been circling each other, they almost feel like they've been getting bored with everything else. This is what needed to happen. I don't like the way that it went down. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the way it went down because this is different than Jay-Z and Nas. Jay-Z lost that battle, but he won ultimately in the war, right?
Yeah.
He got his queen, him and his woman is billionaires. He's synonymous with black excellence and business. And then he has the respect of the niggas who need to be niggered up, right?
Right.
I think that this was a takedown on Drake. And I saw how mediocre some of these tracks that Kendrick put out last weekend were, specifically 616 and Meet the Grams.
Yeah, I didn't like Meet the Grams. Yeah.
Those two tracks were fucking snooze fest. But I watched niggas like Rick Ross could not wait to be like, you see what they doing, Drizzy? It's like, nigga, because everybody was tired of this nigga running the game. And you can see it. You can see it. It's like, oh, y'all hate the nigga. But y'all not gonna make me hate the nigga, but y'all hate the nigga. And
and I'm with you. I don't trust people that try to bring everybody into their disagreement when they don't like somebody or they fall out. They want to call everybody and lie. Because what cowards understand is that, and I'm not calling Kendrick or nobody a coward, but the niggas who jumped in, I'm saying is cowardly. Because what cowards understand is if you bury a lie or the truth under 25 lies, most people ain't gonna pull 24 lies off the truth to figure out what's really going on. And to me, that is one of the worst things that you can do, is attack somebody's reputation because you guys have a difference in opinion, or maybe you don't see eye to eye. You know what I mean? Those type of people, I feel like it's a special place in hell for them. You know what I mean?
That's a fucking fact.
That's a fact. Right. And when people do that and they call me talking about people and saying shit that ain't true, I say, call that nigga. Get off my line talking bad about Clint Coley, CP, and Doughboy. Call that nigga. And that's what the mother cat should have did, man. Stop hating because this nigga been dominating for so long. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't give a fuck who he got at Universal. If you had to hook up, you'd be doing the same thing.
These is facts. Clint Coley, man, was this shit worth it? Has it lived up to the hype? What's your 2 cents?
I'm going to say it did live up to the hype. And to CP and Craig's point, I got another point on top of that, right? Drake is like the Patriots, right? And he's done a lot of winning. He's won over a long period of time, but nothing was better than when you got to see Tom Brady lose in the Super Bowl. It was like, oh, he can be touched. Eli Manning can say, I own you. You know what I'm saying? Nick Foles can say, I got you, right? And my thing is, when people love to see the person on top get beat. When you've been the reigning champion for so long, it's finally good to see. So in that essence, it lived up to the hype, because clearly there was a lot of people who were tired of Drake. They're tired of him being this. They're tired of him being that. They're tired of him. It's like Drake fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, Drake hasn't given his career a second to breathe since 2009. He has dropped a project damn near every year since he's been out. Damn near every year. Like you could literally go through the years and be like, yeah, we had So Far Gone. Then we got, Thank Me Later. Then it's Take Care. Then it's Nothing Was the Same. Then it's, you know what I mean?
More
then it's,
life,
the joints confused.
Like,
yeah. He's dropped so much stuff, and he's on top of the Billboard charts, and he's doing so much stuff, and he literally is he runs the hip hop and he runs hip hop in a sense. And now you got to see him be taken down. Now you got to see the underdog in quotation marks, rise to the top, like in a sense, rise to the top. So my thing is, I think a lot of it was Drake fatigue, but in that sense, yes, it did live up to the hype, because there's nothing better than when you watch a movie or watch wrestling and seeing the villain get taken down. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, and was it worth the wait? Yeah. And also in that sense, it was worth the wait, because it's like, okay, I got to see Drake be vulnerable. I got to see Drake get hit.
The only artists with more #1 Billboard songs than Drake are the Beatles, Mariah Carey, Rihanna, and Michael Jackson.
That's fucking crazy.
Artists. That's crazy.
Hey, like name one rapper on that list.
Exactly.
None.
Exactly.
Michael Jackson.
Now let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all about me. So was the battle worth the wait? Was the battle worth the wait? In my opinion, and did it live up to the hype? I have a twofold answer. I feel like it exceeded the hype. I feel like we seen something we have never seen. To see the two top rappers exchange blows back to back, like within days like that, the amount of views they were doing, like Kendrick's about to have the & record in the country, and it's a diss record. That to me is crazy. Like to see these niggas getting, hundreds and millions of views on this, and everybody being engaged. Elon Musk, commenting on Twitter, like everybody cares about this. They talking about this shit on halftime shows for the NBA playoffs. Like this shows you how big hip hop really is. So in that, I feel like it was one of the biggest moments in hip hop, and it was great and it was amazing. And then at the same time, I feel like it was one of the worst moments in hip hop ever. It became a mudslinging fest, something that was they were saying things that were just so uncomfortable. Like by the time it got to the Heart 6 and he's like, you got touched on as a kid, it's just like, what am I listening to? So then it turned into something so ugly that I didn't even feel right rooting for anymore. And it was just like, I don't like this and what it's turned into anymore. So I feel like it's a catch-22. Like, yes, it was worth it, but then it turned into something I don't think any of us thought it was going to turn into. So I have like the two-edged sword on that. Let me ask you guys quickly, give me your favorite diss so far and the worst one, and it can be from either side. So just tell me your favorite joint and your worst joint. I'll start it off. My favorite song of this entire exchange is Family Matters by Drake. I feel like the fact that that's the only piece with a visual with it, and the visuals were great. There were so many Easter eggs in it. I feel like he rapped for 7 minutes. He was on timing the whole time. He was talking shit to not only Kendrick, he was giving other niggas straight shots. Like that shit was a lyrical masterpiece. I love the beats. That's my favorite song. My worst song that I have, and I'm sorry, I just didn't like Meet the Grams. It didn't feel like a battle beat. I don't like a lot of his production selections. Now, when he got with Mustard, I was like, nigga, this is out of this world. But I didn't really like Meet the Grams. And then plus I felt along with the slow beat that didn't feel like it matched a battle. That's also where you said the shit about the kid. And I feel like you missed with that. So I just didn't care for that record. And it had the least repay. And it kind of came off like just a big judgment session. Like, let me just sit here and tell you and you and the people in your life how terrible of a person I feel like you're. It wasn't really dope to me like that. Craig, what was your favorite and your worst joint out of these joints?
Before I say that, I just want to say all praises due to Jala. That's Jesus and Allah. And then
Yo, every time I'm on live with you, man, every time I'm on something with you, dog, every time, it never fails. You're right on time.
Hey, Euphoria and Family Matters, the favorite two. And then I think the weakest one is the first one that Kendrick did with Metro Boomin. Look, I love Future and I love Metro Boomin. You can't have two garbage rappers dissing a motherfucking monster on the mic. That's like, when we be in a roast circle and you be killing somebody and then they look for the little nigga behind you like, well, what you talking about? You know what I mean? They go look for the weak. Come on, man. Don't have a weak link up there rhyming. Them niggas make hits and I love them. I hope they ain't mad at me for it, but you can't rap, bro. They can't rap. So that's the weakest one. But Corey and both dope.
Got you. CP, what's on your mind, man? Give me the worst and the best of this thing.
I think you were right on point though, but I think that the best was obviously Family Matters. I think that what was dope about it is this: you got 3 songs in one, 3 different rhyme schemes, 3 different angles in each song and rhyme scheme. You also got visuals that, number one, printed out the lyrics so that it could hit harder, right? It captioned everything. But number 2, it wasn't a dub video. He wasn't rapping the lyrics. It was the visuals were a part of. It was almost like the visuals were their own diss track in itself because they didn't even really match the lyrics. It was just, it's just and it was so many quotable bars. I mean, it's like, just like, here's what I'll say. We've been getting the best Drake that we've got in a long ass time. And we're getting consistent Kendrick. So with that, I'll say, of course, Family Matters was my favorite. I'll go favorite and least from each one. That was my favorite. Heart Part 6 is to me where Drake lost, right? Yeah, Heart Part 6 is where I felt like he kind of conceded. Honestly, that track came across as if, rightfully so, Drake's feelings was hurt because it's like, dog, you're trying to do something to me that none of us should be trying to do to each other, which is like, I don't want to end your career. I want to end people saying that you're better than me.
Right.
That's all I want to end. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so for me, it was just like, now for Kendrick, I think that my favorite one from Kendrick was Euphoria. I think that
over Not Like Us.
I'm gonna tell you why. Not Like Us is really the hook and the beat. Like Euphoria to me was Kendrick in the Kendrick bag with the beat that I felt. Of course, they say Baby Keem wrote it, but it was in that bag. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even bleed him yet. Can I bleed him back? Like, it was like it was the attack. And then the worst is Meet the Grams. I do like Not Like Us, but I think that the problem is you can't spit a catchy lie and win off of that. Like, dog, Drake is he's not a sex offender, bro. Like, we can't do that because if this nigga go to prison, like, that's how R. Kelly got caught up. That's how, don't forget, Bill Cosby shit sparked back off with a Hannibal Buress joke.
With a joke. Yep. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you got to be careful with that because, that opened up a whole can of worms. And it's just like, yo, like, I don't know if the nigga's a sex offender or a predator, and that's crazy to say. I don't like niggas putting each other's addresses out. I think that ups the ante on what a beef in today's era looks like. So, in my opinion, Euphoria was Kendrick at his best in this battle. Meet the Grams was him at his worst. I think Drake was like, he was untouchable with his first 3, and then Heart Part 6, in my opinion, was just, don't forget the promo for Family Matters was him redoing If I Was in a Pine Box. Nigga, that shit was hard. That nigga told Kendrick, if you was in a pine box, he said I would still be in my spot. Nigga, exactly.
Bro. That's crazy. And let me get this. So I know Clint Coley has he's on a time crunch. So Clint Coley, I want to give you a two-way question, then you get it like this. Tell us what your favorite diss and the worst and the best one, and then just give us your final thoughts overall, so you can kind of put a bow on it before you leave us. I know you got another engagement to be to.
I appreciate that. For me, of course, I think it's a clean sweep. Family Matters is my favorite. And this line especially, it says K dot shit is only hitting hard when Baby King put a pin to it. Ross calling me white boy, and that shit kind of got a ring to
Ring
it.
to it.
Because all these rappers waving white flags while the whole fucking club sings to it. That to me, that's a bar.
Nigga.
That's
Clint,
bars.
But Clint, he's describing what Kendrick is doing to him. The whole club ain't singing the shit Drake got going on right now.
No, I understand that, but that was before that came out too.
Yeah, it was before. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is like, in the grand scheme of things, that was my favorite bar of Family Matters, and that's why I liked it the best. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of wordplay and that kind of stuff, again, that is a true statement. That's a true statement. And yes, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like you calling him white. All right, cool. Yeah, I am white because you waving the white flag or whatever. Cool. You know, and also, man, just, you know, I think Family Matters is just the most potent of all of them. You know what I'm saying? And if it got a chance to breathe, we'd be having a different conversation right now. And then my least favorite was probably Euphoria. And the reason why my least favorite was Euphoria is because I feel like it was more so the fact that Kendrick dropped the track than the actual track itself. Like, yeah, he has a couple of bars in it, but for me, and to CP's point, to me, like Euphoria was a snooze fest. Right, like, and not saying that you said that, but I'm saying I know you said that, you know, Meet the Grams and 616 was snooze fest. But to me, outside of that, you know, the Day Ain't Like Us, I mean, yeah, Euphoria to me was just wasn't a good record. It wasn't good to listen to. It wasn't an easy listen. There was no I have not went back to Euphoria since. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was just cool on it. But that's it. I just think that the hype of Euphoria was more than what actually dropped. And also, real quick, can I just throw this out there? I thought the AI track was very, very clever. A lot of people didn't like it, but that shit was fucking clever. And he had to take it down because that shit was really good. And he's talking to Kendrick through his old heads and the guys who, you know, on the West Coast who should be proud of him. And it's like, that to me was clever as fuck. And then my final thoughts on this is that, look, I'm going to say this and I'm going to make this very emphatic. This is the biggest rap beef we've ever had.
Facts.
I understand that you guys were around with Jay-Z and Nas and Tupac and Biggie, but this was different. And the reason why this was different is because for the first time in my lifetime, right? Like, I'm not saying Nas wasn't at the peak of his game, but we're talking about literally, we've been debating Kendrick versus Drake for a long time. And when we got it, it did not disappoint. So to me, that makes this the biggest rap beef of all time. And this was, you know, I'm gonna be honest, as this was Ali versus Frazier. That's what this was. Yeah. And the crazy part is Joe Frazier won. Like he did in 1971 on March 8th. I mean, when I say Ali versus Frazier, I mean that in the first fight. Like the hype, the build up, it was like this was the fight of the century. To me, this is the rap battle of the century.
Appreciate you, man. Well, I know you got some things to go, man. We appreciate you for spending some time with us. I'm gonna finish the convo up with my guys, man. You be safe out here in these streets. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you for having me, man.
So Craig and CP, we just got a few more questions to get through here. So I'm gonna ask y'all. Now the rest of the hip hop collective was starting to give their opinion of what was going on. Gilly and Joel Santana commented on Kendrick's diss. Joel said that Kendrick wrote a bedtime story to Drake's son, and Rick Ross's diss was better than every diss that K. Dot did. Gilly said that Kendrick's diss was corn on the cob. That was his words specifically. How do you guys feel about their feedback to Kendrick's verses?
Oh man,
I agree. Like I said, Kendrick won because it's like it's the draw forward, bro. He don't care if you had one card left, you had all the momentum. He calls you a pedophile. You got to stop everything and address that. And he knows that it's not gonna be fun doing them goddamn "I'm not a pedophile" raps. Mm-hmm. He knows that.
Yeah, it's like how do you even do it? Like, you know, academics said that it was like he put Drake in a catch-22. It's like if you address it and you respond to it, you sound weird. You know what I'm saying? Respond to it, and then if you don't say nothing about it, then you sound like you avoiding something. Then it becomes an elephant in the room, and then it grows. But I feel like a lot of hip hop collectors kind of felt the same way about Kendrick's responses. What did you think, Kendrick? I mean, what did you think, Craig, about Gilly and Joel's comments on Kendrick?
Man, I just hate when I just look, man. I don't, man. I don't like the fact that Rick Ross is just jumping on Kendrick's side. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it should be who had the better song. It shouldn't be I don't like you because he doesn't like you right now. So since he doesn't like you, I'm going. You know what I mean? It's like, is that how you really feel, nigga? Because he said a line about you being a cop, nigga. That was murder. You was really a police officer, dog. It wasn't no play around shit. Like I don't see how you been sliding by. I mean, I don't have no issue with it because I'm not no gangster. But I mean, you really was a police, dog. So and he spoke on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and then Gilly, I don't know. I like Gilly so much, man. I really don't think Gilly was paying close attention. I don't think he give a fuck like that. He getting so much money doing his podcast and traveling, you know, and then him going through what he went through with his son, you know, shout out to his family. I think he paying close attention. Niggas in their 40s don't really give a fuck about this beef like that.
Right. Yo, and no, you know what motherfuckers are saying is that the younger motherfuckers really don't care. Like, it's like, older niggas is the one that's really vested in shit. Like the young kids, they don't give a fuck about this shit. My thoughts on this with Gilly and what Joel's is saying, I think that they're saying what a lot of people are feeling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't like niggas was just, it ain't like you could just go in there through Kendrick stuff or, you know what I'm saying, just be like, yo, this line or this line, you know what I'm saying? So I think that they were kind of, you know, I kind of agree with their sentiments, which takes me to our next question. If you take out the gossip and the baseless allegations on both sides, so, you know what I'm saying? So there's no proof on the DV stuff Drake was saying. There's no proof on the, is that his kid stuff for Kendrick. There's no proof on the P3DO stuff. There's no, so take all the T out and then just take it to bars and just lines directed. Who had the better bars and disses? I'll start with this one. I think Drake did. I just think Drake just had the more memorable things that, you know what I'm saying, that he was saying, like when he was, you know, just the way that he was just breaking Kendrick down, even on the drop and give me 50. Like he, you know what I'm saying, like how he was getting on his height and, you know what I'm saying, talking about his splits and, you know what I'm saying, all these different things. I just feel like he was just more clever with it. When he did the tailor-made, he was just like, I'm going to talk to you like your OG would have talked to you if he was still here. I'm going to talk to you like Snoop would talk to you. Then I'm going to talk to you how I talk to you. I just felt like he was wildly creative versus I felt like all Kendrick really had was, you mess with young girls. Like, it's just like, all right, bro. Like, if I guess if that's how you going to win this.
And that's not a dub.
That Kendrick bar, he said, all your dogs get buried. That's a K with all the nines. You're going to end up in a pet cemetery.
That was hard. And let me give Kendrick his flowers. That Atlanta scheme on that Ain't Like Us. Nigga, let me tell you how dope it was. Nigga, I didn't know that was so he taught me some shit while dissing the nigga. So he had some shit so I'll give him that. That Atlanta scheme was crazy to me.
Yeah.
That nigga Drake said, good kid, Mad City van, we'll pop the latch and let the door slide. Ooh. Tears running down my face while I'm laughing at you niggas die. That's a war cry.
Yeah.
That God nigga,
damn.
And the degree of difficulty. First of all, Drake on a drill beat was a masterpiece. So the second part of that was crazy. But Drake, and this is another thing that I don't think he's getting enough credit for, but it was also the thing that I think hurt him in the battle. Because this is my like one of my bigger takes on this. I don't think Drake lost this battle to Kendrick. I think he lost the battle to his own ego because he thought, I'm Drake, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I'll go against all you niggas at one time. Like, it was kind of like what Jay-Z did on Takeover. On Takeover, he was talking about a bunch of niggas on the East Coast. He was hitting some niggas from the West Coast. He was talking shit about a lot of niggas. Then he gave Nas the third verse.
Right. Shit, how the host lose service?
Oh, shit, what happened?
They say you were too heavy for your connection.
So I feel like, but what Drake doesn't get credit for was the degree of difficulty because he was fighting 6 or 7 other niggas simultaneously. But I think that's what also hurt him in the long run. Like, nigga, Kendrick is a nigga you need to just be focusing 100% of your bandwidth on. Don't be talking about Rick Ross. Don't be talking about The Weeknd. We don't need to hear about A$AP Rocky right now or none of that shit. you need to fuck with this nigga because this nigga is dangerous and he's a problem. And I think his ego and his emotion got to him, and he was like, nah, nigga, I'm Drake. I can do. And it was like that was a fatal misstep in this whole thing for him.
Yeah, I agree. I
You know,
agree.
so
Even Drake said it. I got to take him serious, even though he a joke. I got to start taking him serious because he, Drake was playing with him. Even this one, I knew that Drake wasn't taking it serious. Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go get him a Grammy right now. Like,
nigga, like that shit. And then he was disrespectful on the next line. The next line he said after that was, he said, "Where is your uncle at? Because I want to talk to the man in the house." You know what that's about, right?
No.
Because Kendrick has an aunt that transitioned to being a man. So he was dissing his trans aunt. Like that nigga Drake is diabolical, man. Like that nigga disrespectful.
Bro. That's why it's like Drake lost this battle because this battle was fought in Flea Bottom. It was not fought in King's Landing.
Ooh. That is a fact. I got a couple more questions for y'all, then we're gonna get out of here. This just happened today, and this is on a serious note. So before I even address this, I definitely want to send healing energy and good energy to the people that were injured in this. But there was recently a shooting at Drake's house. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's in serious condition. Hopefully they get better, heal up. We don't want nobody losing their life. But there's the recent shooting at Drake's home and vandalism at his OVO store. Show fans why rap beef can get dangerous. It's all fun and games and entertainment until it gets real. So do you guys think this is like, this showing us that while these niggas are dissing each other, and that's great, shit gets really real really fast? How do you guys feel about that?
Man, we don't want to speak like it's connected because
right.
I don't think Kendrick would do that.
No, not at all. Yeah, we don't, and I don't want to make it
seem like now I'm gonna say this. The issue is that, and Kanye did this before, putting Drake's address out like that.
That was some. I didn't respect that in the least.
See, the problem is, nigga, you don't know who you radicalize when you are who you are, and so that's why it's like, dog, Pac wasn't putting Biggie address out, right? And nigga, Pac thought that Biggie got him shot. He had every right to do some shit like that, but it's just like, that ain't cool.
It's not.
It's cool. Not. Once again, how you gonna write a letter to Drake's son, telling him you feel for him, and then put his life in danger?
That's definitely, what I'm saying. The fact that that's where I feel like, even to Craig's point, like, no, I don't think, Kendrick had anything to do with it. I don't think he sent anybody to Drake's estate. But like you said, this can, weaponize some, lunatic out there, or some lunatic, like it could be somebody out there that just is like, P3DOs need to be ridded from the earth. And if you put that in somebody's mind that this person is touching on kids, they like, oh, this nigga gotta die. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know the battery that you might be putting in someone else's back. And now they're vandalizing the stores or whatever. And like I said, I don't think it's ever sent from a kid. But like you said, you play a dangerous game and you start doing shit like putting people's address online, and now it just looks
crazy, stinky. Bro. They said Rick Ross got on his jet with a Costco bag of Funyuns, and the second he got done with them Funyuns, the plane damn near fell out the air. They said, what was going on? They said, nigga, the cargo weight went up crazy. Just the way his body built. They said if he didn't had him Ozempic shot, they would not have made it off the fucking man. Look.
All right, let me ask you guys this. Now I know that J. Cole, this will be the last question, and then we can wrap it up. You know what I'm saying, after this. I know Clint Coley alluded to this point, and I'll start off with this as well. It's basically, how do you guys feel about J. Cole's apology? Now, how I'll say that I feel about it. Now, I felt very strongly about J. Cole. I do a morning show every morning. I record a song every day. I dissed the nigga. I was like, how could you? Like, this is so not hip hop. How you going on stage saying sorry? Like, I just didn't respect it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yeah, you're a wild nigga for that. But now, after seeing how this has transpired, after seeing all the terrible things these young black men have said about each other, and now how just it seems irreconcilable. Like, Jay-Z and Nas had an epic battle. They still, years later, made Black Republican, get money together, can be at the same parties. I feel like with the damage that has been done, I actually have very much did a 180 on my stance on how I felt about J. Cole. He did what I feel like was right for himself and what was right for hip hop. He protected his peace. He got out of the way. He was like, nigga, I'm here to rap and just hit niggas with bars. And I think once he seen that these niggas had blood on their mind and it was gonna get ugly, he was like, I'm not doing this. Kendrick, you my partner, our friendship, because I think they're friends in real life. And I think he was like, nigga, my relationship with you outside of the industry is more important to me than to jeopardize it from some fuck industry shit. So I actually value the nigga, and I actually, feel bad for like attacking him when he did it, because I just feel like I was wrong for that. So yeah, I feel like that was the smartest, most rational thing that he could do. CP, what are your thoughts on J. Cole's apology?
Nigga, when I was in high school, bro, and I would try to throw a party at my crib, I had to recognize that I had different niggas who was my boys, but they was in different gangs at school. And if I invited them niggas to my crib and one of them niggas got killed at my crib because they ran into each other where they normally wouldn't have, I play a part in that. See, like, my problem with J. Cole is that J. Cole fucking started this shit.
Facts.
Like, he started this shit with that big three shit and all that. Like, them niggas didn't like each other, and they was comfortable not liking each other from way over there. And when you got a mutual friend coming in, like, come on, guys, come on. It's like, what happens is somebody gets fucking hurt because these niggas don't like each other for reasons that go beyond how benevolent you are, J. Cole. I think that J. Cole being in that battle could have helped get some heat off of Drake.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Nigga, because Kendrick didn't have nobody else to worry about. Drake was battling Kendrick, Ross, Metro, Future, Weeknd, fucking Rocky. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, and he had to have bars for all of them niggas because it was things said like, Drake knows that they're hating on him. He knows that they hate him because of how lit he is. He knows that. He said it before. He said that he accused Meek Mill of being sent by the industry when he did the shit that he did. Right. He said that the elites have all come together and decided to ruin me. 40, did you get the message? Because I ain't get the message. He said that. He said that they were gonna fucking do this. Jay-Z warned the nigga about this on the first shit.
Eminem warned him. Like it's been, and it's even through the test of time. Like everybody has their run, and when it comes to an end, so definitely some credence to what you're saying. Craig, what are your thoughts on the J. Cole apology?
You know what, man? Ain't nothing worse than being in the middle of a beef and you don't really give a care. You know what I mean? Can't be and melancholy. You know what I mean? So, he don't really have a dog in the fight. He just rhyming. He's just a rapper's rapper. He just want to, so I feel him. I think that was a dope move to, not jump in that, you know what I mean? Because it just ain't really his fight, you know what I mean? So, sometimes when you try to bring people together that don't want to be together, you actually make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I really feel like he had dreams of doing some type of Rat Pack or Big Three, Sammy Davis, Frank Sinatra level shit, which they are all big enough to do. But unfortunately, we don't exist in a time where people see the value of being a team. Everybody wants to be the man, you know what I mean? So
just because that's a fact.
Because the last time we saw something on this scale work, my bad, Craig, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is when Kanye, 3 Stacks, and I forgot who else made that little group. Everybody, don't stop, baby. Don't stop, man. That was like they were gonna. That would have been crazy. That would have been like the Firm, damn near.
Yeah, the Firm was dope. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this before we get up out of here, and I'll start with it, and then you guys can say your last words on it, and then we'll get out of here. What are your last words and your last final thoughts on this beef as a whole? I'll start, and I'll say this. I think it was overall great for hip hop. I think it's brought the excitement back. I think I think women have been running hip hop for the past 2 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, and that's a good thing. I'm all about that, women's empowerment, all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm, to see the fellas get back into the mix and bring it back, you know what I'm saying, on a real competitive hip hop level. I love that. I think the competitive edge was great. I think there were some things I could have done without, so it wasn't a perfect battle by any sense. But was it good overall for the culture? Yes. Has it sparked interest back in both artists? Yes. Has it brought a lot of content for podcasters and a lot of us to be able to talk about and break down and dissect. Absolutely. It's brought us a lot, more ups than it was down. I just hope that, if it continues, I hope the mudslinging can stop. And actually, I don't really know that I want it to continue. I think we've kind of seen enough. They can maybe just go to their respective corners. But I think it was overall good for hip hop. I'm glad that we finally got to see it. I'm okay if it doesn't continue moving forward. But if it does, I just hope it has just more class and doesn't get back to the mudslinging shit. But overall, I think it was good for hip hop. CP, what are your last words on it?
I hope it's over, but I feel like with Drake boy getting shot and people saying that he lost, Drake has warned us years ago that if he ever felt like he lost, he might self-destruct. Drake is not a loser, bro. Them albums that he sold, nigga, that shit was in America. And it was niggas buying those albums more than the Beatles, more than Kendrick, more than everybody who he's battling combined.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think it's over because of who he is and who he knows he has to be. I just hope that both of these guys make it out of this thing alive and with their integrity intact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see Drake lose everything because of the P3DO perception. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I want Kendrick to be a little bit less angry. Nigga, start having fun with life and try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, leave that fucking hood shit where it's at, nigga, because you don't belong to the hood no more. Unfortunately, nigga, you belong to the world. It's a lot of motherfuckers who, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen to the shit that you say. And if they really listen, they're going to start hearing holes in what you say and what you do.
Hell yeah.
All right, Craig, what are your final words on here before we get out of here, big dog?
Hey, man, wrap it up, man. Ain't no such thing as the best rapper. Everybody, that's just hip-hop is subjective. It's all based on who you are, what you feel. Drake has the accolades, but at the end of the day, man, just be the best you can be. And when you feel like somebody hating, tell them if they owe you something to get it from God. God.
You already know the facts. I want to say thank you to my boy, Craig Smith. Thank you to comedian CP. Thank you to my dog, Clint Coley. Shout out to Divine Digital. This concludes the special episode of Case Review. Make sure you like the video and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Also, hey, don't forget to watch our episode, man, of Cancel Court, man, starring me and Doughboy, where we argue Drake and Kendrick. Go back and watch that.
This down years ago. It's a classic episode, and we might have to have a rematch after all of this shit. That's a public call out. All right, man. We check y'all out next time. Peace out.